Went a little bit crazy during the last Oculus sale. Just splurging like a Negro man with no obligations, financial or otherwise. When all was said and done, and I returned a couple floppers that I wasn't digging, I ended up with 3 new permanent additions in my Oculus library. Among them is one of many takes on the always trendy zombie genre and Drop Dead Dual Strike Edition. Now, I won't say I've had my eye on this game, but I've been aware of it. I've seen it. And I mostly passed it off with level enthusiasm. But this was a good sale, you see, so combine that sweet price with some fairly convincing reviews. I figured, fuck it, I might as well take that there bite and give it a try. Excuse me if I'm not 100 on the terminology here, but I believe Drop Dead is what the kids call a rail shooter. As in, you stand in one place, kind of like being anchored on a railroad, while enemies come towards you in waves. Sounds kind of lame, right? I think this shit sounds lame in theory, but in practice, it's actually not half bad. At the end of the day, I guess it's all about presentation, because Pistol Whip is based on that same premise, and as we all know, Pistol Whip is tops Blueby. Despite some obvious limitations, Drop Dead gives you a fair amount of content to feast on. There's a story mode, which the training session is tied to. Not necessarily a fan of that. As well as a horror mode. Horror mode is reminiscent of arcade style gaming, where you're basically blasting your way through zombie jabronis until you conquer said level. And like the arcade environment, this mode is all about the score. You can see where you stand in terms of your own progression, or you can see how your score ranks up against worldwide jabronis via the global scoreboard, which you see after you get murked at the end of your little session. Of course, instead of popping in a quarter, you simply grab your little Quest controller and choose the map you want to play. I think there's like maybe 5 of them so far. I'm not sure if you unlock any new ones after you beat all those. Ordinarily, it would seem like you'd have to beat the previous level in order to unlock the next one. But I damn sure ain't complaining, because you can choose whatever one you want. Even though I think they are moderately more difficult as you go up, depending on how they're presented to you, whatever. But you can choose whichever one you want, so that's pretty cool. Drop Dead delivers in the gameplay department as well. While the graphics aren't anything to slap your mama over, I think the developers did a very serviceable job in driving home the intensity and the creepy feels. This is accomplished by a variety of angles the horse can attack from, as well as the random gun jam, which really amps up the intensity, because that shit is guaranteed to happen at the worst possible fucking time. There are even boss ghouls that are considerably more difficult to stamp out than your regular zombie jabronis. I gotta say, they really nailed it with the zombie varieties as well. It's all types of zombies. You got zombies that can jump. You got big fat nigga zombies. You got bitch zombies. You got zombies who be slinging some fucking toxic waste looking shit at you. They mix it up pretty nicely. Weaponry is cool for the most part. You've got your typical must-haves in a handgun and a shotty. Reloading is super simple. I definitely appreciate that. You can also pick up melee weapons to clock a motherfucker should they happen to get too close to you. Be careful though. The motherfucking shovel will snap if you hit a nigga too hard with that bitch. But don't worry too much because you can still do damage with the business end of that bitch. So don't hesitate to slash and stab until there's no more wood left. All in all, Drop Dead is a surprisingly solid game. I honestly wasn't expecting much, especially when you got games out here like Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and I assume Resident Evil 4 now setting the standard for this genre. But in that next little tier of video games, this one holds its own. Takes the winning combo of simple and effective and knocks it out of the park with a game that delivers big on value. I won't call it a must-have, but if you've got the cash and the capacity on your little device to spare, I say check it out. Peace.